Good evening, welcome to the midweek sports review on EzeSportsTV. I still remain your host, Harrison. Today I have Kesta with me. As usual, Kesta, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me in a very wet evening in the city of Owerri. Thank you for having me, Harris.
Of course, we'll be going straight to the talking point. We'll be talking about the English FA Cup that took place last Sunday. We'll be talking about the Premier League race in the Premier League, of course, the race to the Premier League, and of course, that of the top four finish, and of course, the race between Everton, Burnley, and of course, Leeds United in the relegation zone. And of course, the main event tonight, we'll be talking about the UEFA Europa League between Rangers versus Frankfurt of Germany. I mean, there's a whole lot of talking points to talk about right there. But first of all, we'll be starting with the FA Cup finals that took place on Sunday between Liverpool and Chelsea right there at the Wembley. And of course, with Liverpool winning that one on penalties, just like that particular result that took place between them and Chelsea as well in the FA Cup finals. Chelsea, Kesta, you saw that game. I made a prediction towards that game that it was going to end in a draw, and then Liverpool is going to take the day. It eventually happened, though it wasn't exactly as I said it would be. But you saw that game, Kesta. You saw how it played out. Liverpool had a good game, of course, as well as Chelsea. A lot of scoring chances, but the both sides failed to, get on the score sheet, and it ended on 98 minutes, 0-0. Entered 128th minute, and of course penalty, and of course it was Mason Mount who missed the last kick for Chelsea that actually handed the title over to Liverpool.
Yeah, a very interesting game. I think it was on Saturday, rather, the Liverpool versus Chelsea. It was the fourth time the two teams are meeting this season, or we are meeting this season. Two times in the Premier League, of course, ended in draws. And also they met in the Carabao Cup final. It was also a draw match after 120 minutes between the two sides, and Liverpool won that one on penalties. It took 22 penalties in that particular one for Liverpool to win. And then another match between the two sides, FA Cup final this time. Liverpool also took the day. Another 120 minutes ending a draw. This time around, 0-0 draw, just as we had in the Carabao Cup. And then they went ahead to play the extra time, also finishing a draw, and then the penalty. It's just Liverpool coming out from the lucky side, I might say. Whenever a game goes to penalty, you look at it and you can say it's now down to luck, because you also had Chelsea goalkeeper saving a penalty in the shootout this time around the FA Cup, but they still went ahead to lose. So it was a very interesting game. It proved that there wasn't too much to separate the both sides this season. Even though Liverpool have had a very better season, they are competing for the league as a matter of fact, as it stands now, just 1 point behind City. We are going to be talking about that later. Of course, in the Champions League final to face Real Madrid. So you will say that Liverpool have had a very better season, far better season than Chelsea. But when it comes to both sides playing each other on head-to-head, Chelsea have actually lived up to it. They have matched Liverpool man-to-man. But there's a reason why Liverpool is fighting for the league and also in the Champions League final. And that's the reason why they have won both cups against Chelsea.
All right, talking about Liverpool have played 61 games so far this season, and they've actually lost just 3 games in all competitions so far. I mean, do you think Thomas Tuchel's side, of course, when the game started, Liverpool were the better side for the first 10 minutes, but after that, Chelsea took control of the game, created a lot of chances. I mean, knowing the kind of team you're up against, and knowing that as at that particular fixture, it was the 60th outing for Liverpool so far in all competition this season, and they've tested defeat only 3 times. I believe, do you think Thomas Tuchel, knowing that, do you think his team actually let him down, not being clinical in front of goal? They should have actually taken their chances, knowing fully well that they're playing against a little Liverpool side.
So you can say the same for both sides. Liverpool had chances to score in the match that they failed to take as well. Whenever you see this kind of game between top two sides like this, yeah, it's always down to who takes their chances first. And Liverpool has chances worse. Chelsea has chances also worse. I think Liverpool hit the post twice in that game. Chelsea once they hit the bar once in that game as well. So it was a game that Chelsea would have capitalized on their chances to end the game. It was actually the same in the Carabao Cup. There were a lot of chances created by Chelsea in that one. You thought they could have won the game. in regulation time before even the extra time, there was also the controversy of Lukaku scoring the goal that was ruled out by VAR in that Carabao Cup final. So it's always it's always like this, when you are from the losing side. I think the players should take the responsibility. I mean, they let the coach down, as you rightly said, by missing those chances. But when you look at the kind of team they face in Liverpool, you can always, they can always excuse themselves and say they lost to a better side. But I think they could have done better on the day. Chelsea could have done better, yeah.
All right, they could have done better on the day, according to Kesta. We're still talking about Liverpool and Chelsea. Of course, this time around in the English Premier League, Liverpool played out last night, coming from behind to win that one 2-1. I mean, Jurgen Klopp playing almost what looked like Team B of Liverpool side, except a few players who one of the regulars. But of course, that is what you get when you have a good squad depth. Of course, in the English Premier League, on Sunday will be the last day of the league with 28. Manchester City are the top of the log, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. This is looking like the title chase 3 seasons ago, of which City eventually won that one. I mean, City would need to win on Sunday to guarantee themselves a victory if Liverpool also wins their game. But if Liverpool fail to win, all City need is a draw for them to clinch the title. But if City goes on to lose or draw and Liverpool wins their game over the weekend, Liverpool will be crowned champions. And of course, I think Chelsea have actually qualified for the Champions League and secured their spot as far as the third place is concerned. Then there is that also battle between Arsenal and Tottenham right there for the fourth place. And of course, West Ham hoping to see if they can actually tiptoe Manchester United, to go fifth if they are able to win their game and United failing to win their game on Sunday. Tottenham are 2 points above Arsenal. I mean, if they fail to win and get a draw, Arsenal would need to win about 12-0 for them to actually win over Tottenham. So it is a fierce battle right there, Kesta, at the top of the log, and of course race for the top four. And of course there's still that battle for the last person who will be joining Norwich City and Watford into the relegation drop. We have Leeds United, Everton, and of course Burnley. All three teams will be hoping to get victory over the weekend, to see what they can do. I mean, Kesta is boiling up the English Premier League, a lot of talking points, a lot of things to look at. I mean, where do we start from?
We start from talking about the people on top of the log. Manchester City a point above Liverpool because of that win yesterday for Liverpool against Southampton. 2-1 it ended, coming from behind in that one. Of course, Liverpool have now made sure that the battle is extended to the last day of the season. I mean, we've seen this kind of situation before, and it was City that won the league 3 seasons ago, as you rightly said, 2 points ahead of Liverpool in that one. It might look tighter this time around if both teams goes ahead to win their games. I mean, one good thing for City is that it has always remained in their hand. The title chase, Liverpool have actually chased them down, but it have always remained in their hand. They just need to win their game and win the league, and that's what it takes for a team like Manchester City. I mean, they're not playing hoping anything happens in Liverpool game. They just win your game. The pressure might be on them because they just need to win. For Liverpool, they just keep on doing what they've been doing, trying to gather the points, and then hope that Manchester City loses that one. So it's a very interesting last week of the season we're going to be seeing on Sunday. Manchester City, as far as I'm concerned, still remain the favorite to win this one. They will be playing at home in that particular game. So I see them going ahead to win this one. And Liverpool, I mean, we always look at themselves and say we fought to the end, and it's also a credit to them, the way they have pursued this season, gone for everything and actually showed that it's possible to win everything in a single season. So the quadruple, still alive. If Manchester City drops some points and Liverpool wins their game, you can now have a Liverpool facing Real Madrid, knowing that a win will give them the quadruple that we have never seen before. And Chelsea, have qualified for the Champions League for next season, but not yet secure the third place, 2 points above Tottenham Hotspur. If they lose their game and Tottenham wins, it means that Chelsea will finish fourth, but they are guaranteed now a place in Champions League next season. Of course, Tottenham have also, find themselves in a very good position in fourth place, 2 points ahead of Arsenal after Arsenal lost their game against Newcastle United. Very unfortunate loss for Arsenal. They try to see if they can change a lot of things this season. Mikel Arteta, the squad and all that, but it wasn't going to happen for them against a Newcastle side that since January have started showing another team entirely. We saw that game. Liverpool and Newcastle didn't give Arsenal any chance. From the beginning of the game, they looked at a side that wanted to win that game, and they won it, and deservedly so. So it's now with Tottenham. They just need to win their game and make sure they finish in that top four positions. And Arsenal can always, have hope that next season will turn out better for them. And then down the table, Everton, Burnley, Leeds United, the fight continues. Everton, threw away the chance of making sure they stay in the league. Last time they played against Brentford, I think they led twice in that game, but ended up losing 3-2 after also getting two red cards in that game. So they have another chance tomorrow in that game at hand against Crystal Palace. If they win that one, then they are secured, and then we can, have the battle between Burnley and Leeds United. Burnley also have a game in hand against Aston Villa. If they win that one also, it now means that they might be looking like a team that might be safe. As it stands now, Leeds United are more disadvantaged, even though they are already topping Burnley by 1 point. But Burnley, as I said earlier, have that one match at hand against Aston Villa. If they draw, they will go above Leeds because they have a better goal advantage they have a better goal difference more than the Leeds United. So it's going down to the end. The last week of the season, of course, Norwich, Watford already down, but we are looking for the third team that's going to be joining them in going down. So a lot of things happening in the Premiership, very interesting. There's also, you talked about West Ham United need to see if they can top Manchester United, finish in the 6th position for Europa League. Leicester City also hoping to win Chelsea in a game at hand to see if they can also finish in the top 8. So a lot of things happening in the league as it stands, and the last week will really be interesting.
Just a few conspiracy theory here and there, Kesta. Do you think Steven Gerrard on Sunday, with his Aston Villa side, and of course Philippe Coutinho will be trying to stop Manchester City for their feelings and of course relationship with Liverpool, and of course do you think Norwich have what it takes to even get a draw against Tottenham on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, Aston Villa, if they had that chance, they would have won Liverpool the last time both of them played. I mean, Steven Gerrard came into that game. He wanted to win. I mean, I don't think he was looking at, trying to help Liverpool to win that one. And that's one thing I like about these coaches and all that. No matter their attachment on that, they always try to be very professional on the day. You look at the teams that are trying to stop other teams from achieving whatever they want to achieve, and you think, what is it again? They have again, watch Newcastle against Arsenal on the day. You feel like, what is it that Newcastle is going for? Why can't they allow us now to win this one and go ahead? But there is always that bragging right it gives you when you win your match and all that. Yes, it might be an extra motivation for Steven G, knowing his attachment with Liverpool. Of course, he want Liverpool to win the league, and he will really like to win Manchester City, but not just because Liverpool is there or might win the league. He will be winning Manchester City because he wants to win Manchester City, because he wants to finish the season in a very high note and high spirit. And the same goes for Norwich City. I mean, Norwich City will not be doing anything for Arsenal. I mean, they will just be doing it for themselves. If they win that match, it will be because they want to end the season in a very good, best possible way. And of course, and of course, whenever that happens, the other team benefits. So I'm looking forward to see how it ends at the end of the season.
Okay, let's go to the main event quickly. The UEFA Europa League tonight, Kesta. Rangers against all odds. Nobody actually expected this. I mean, it was a hard one for them, qualifying for the Europa League group stages, but they managed to do that, and today they are in the finals. I mean, they knocked out Dortmund, a team and nobody gave them a chance against, and of course RB Leipzig. If they manage to win Frankfurt tonight, it will be for the first time in the history of the Europa League that a team is beating 3 teams from a single nation to win the title. Frankfurt, on the other hand, you can tell how good they've been in the run. Of course, knocking out Barcelona, going right there at the Camp Nou to win that game, and of course beating West Ham home and away to make it to the final. It is going to be something that no one actually, we can't really, tell the gap between the two sides and say who's going to take the day. Kesta, what do you think?
a very interesting day we have in our hand, a very beautiful day. I mean, the Europa League final is always a very interesting one, and going to be between two sides we never thought we would be seeing the final at the start of the season. The Rangers have done so well, to play themselves into this position of playing in final against Frankfurt. It's going to be a good match at the end of the day. The fans were already in Seville. The team are there. Everything is set for the final. So we're looking forward to see a very beautiful game between both sides. The Rangers have opportunity of winning a trophy an European trophy for a very long time now. And if they win, it means a sure place in the Champions League come next season. So, it's a trophy that comes with a lot of reward, and both sides will be playing and hoping to win this one for the fans and for themselves.
Do you have any predictions, Kesta?
I have this attachment for British side. I want Rangers to win, so I will predict Rangers to win this one by 2-1. But I know that Frankfurt is a very good side. It's going to be difficult for Rangers, but 2-1 for me, for Rangers, yeah.
2-1 for Kesta. Of course, we will be here next week, Wednesday, to see if Kesta is on point with his predictions. Of course, continue to keep a date with us on EzeSportsTV. This is still the midweek sports review. And of course, Kesta, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, Collins, our producer, the man behind the cameras, Collins, thank you so much, for always making sure that our fans are able to watch us every Wednesday, Talk Sports on Midweek Sports Review. I still remain your host, Harrison. Thank you so much, and continue to keep it with us. Bye-bye.
Bye. Because